Between Adam Levine's nipply dad dancing and Big Boy's fur coat, the internet was ablaze over the pair's lackluster performance during their halftime show collab. And what about that SpongeBob snub? Log on and enjoy, because the keyboards got hot during halftime at Super Bowl 53. Actor Rainn Wilson, best known as Dwight Schrute from The Office, reacted to the Super Bowl halftime show with 3 simple words: Maroon 5 hours. His tweet quickly gained thousands of likes, highlighting just how many people felt that the band were on the stage for way too long. Not only was Maroon 5's set list super safe with older hits like She Will Be Loved and moves like Jagger, but it seemed to go on forever. One user suggested that Maroon 5 had actually been around like 15 years too long. Levine chose to ignore the backlash when he took to Instagram after the event, instead discussing the responsibility that comes with performing at the Super Bowl. The frontman wrote, "We thank the universe for this historic opportunity to play on the world's biggest stage. We thank our fans for making our dreams possible, and we thank our critics for always pushing us to do better." Giving so much time to Maroon 5 meant that the other acts on the bill had precious little to work with. Rappers Travis Scott and Big Boy also performed, but they were more like guests at a Maroon 5 show, something that didn't go over too well on Twitter. One disappointed viewer tweeted, "Needed more Travis Scott and Big Boy. Maroon 5 is outdated." In the end, all Scott did was emerge from a bizarre fireball display to perform a version of Sicko Mode before crowd surfing away. Some viewers expected him to return, including NBA star LeBron James. After Scott disappeared from the stage, James tweeted, "So, this halftime show though, that's all for Travis or nah?" If you were following along on Twitter during the game's halftime show, you may have noticed several photos of pillows popping up among the hashtags. In case you didn't notice, the tank top Levine wore during part of the halftime show bore a striking resemblance to similarly patterned pillows, which can apparently be bought with matching curtains.
We're telling you, as 2 stylists, your clothes look cheap.
Jenny Chilton Dodson told the Huffington Post that she bought her pillows about 5 years ago when they were still in style, saying, "That pattern was apparently very popular at one time. It had just came out of my mouth that his shirt was the ugliest thing I'd ever seen, and then I glanced at my couch. We just about died laughing." Unfortunately, or fortunately, it appears that those tank top curtains are no longer as popular as they once were. Quick, someone tell Adam Levine. Things didn't get much better for Levine as the show went on. The singer eventually removed his shirt and, according to comedian Elijah Daniel, looked like an uncle at Thanksgiving when Kid Rock comes on. The singer's torso is almost fully covered in tattoos, but his ink didn't exactly impress Twitter users. TV writer Matt Oswald tweeted, "Are all of Adam Levine's tattoos inspired by stuff he sees while shopping at Hot Topic?" MSNBC live anchor Stephanie Rule suggested that he had the worst tattoos in show business, asking, "Is anyone happier than Ben Affleck right now? He no longer has the worst famous guy tattoos of all time. Thanks, Adam Levine." Rule was of course referring to the A-list actor's infamous and very real giant phoenix tattoo, which he once swore was fake.
The tat on your back, real or fake for a movie?
Fake for a movie.
Think before you ink, kids. 2 parts of Levine's torso that aren't covered in tattoos are his nipples, which are on full show by the end of his set. Countless viewers saw this as a clear double standard, seeing as Janet Jackson was heavily criticized after one of her breasts was accidentally exposed during her 2004 halftime performance with Justin Timberlake. The NSYNC frontman once said of the famous wardrobe malfunction, "I think the ensuing backlash was tough on both Janet and me." However, there's been no such backlash over Levine showing flesh. Comedian Aisha Tyler tweeted, "Why is it okay to see Adam Levine's boobs and not Janet Jackson's? Asking for a friend." The Emmy-nominated talk show host wasn't the only media personality to dub the situation hypocritical, with ESPN host Katie Nolan tweeting that Super Bowl halftime nipple rules feel inconsistent. The Maroon 5 singer's dancing was the topic of much discussion in the Twitter sphere, with users comparing Levine to everyone from Napoleon Dynamite to Michael Scott.
Dancing! It is a primal art form used in ancient times to express yourself with the body.
Stephanie McNeil of BuzzFeed News was reminded of Rick Astley in his video for Never Gonna Give You Up while watching Levine bust a move to Travis Scott's Sicko Mode. An Atlantic writer tweeted that the Maroon 5 man looked like a human Hollister cologne. The general consensus was that Levine lacked the cool factor, and being in the company of Scott and Atlanta legend Big Boy only served to highlight that. Even former football pros couldn't help but poke fun at the contrast. Retired tight end Martellus Bennett tweeted, "They invited Adam Levine to the barbecue and it's not going as planned. He brought the potato salad with raisins in it." Given the situation with Colin Kaepernick, many hoped that one of the performers would pay tribute to him in some small way, especially those in the same profession. Retired NFL nose tackle Ian Williams took to Twitter to express his disappointment when nobody saw fit to mention Kaepernick's name, saying, "So no shoutouts to Kaepernick during the Super Bowl halftime show? I was hoping to see something." Pro soccer player Bilal Duckett noticed Williams' comment and got in on the conversation, revealing that he thought Atlanta's finest would come through on the day. Duckett tweeted, "I really hoped Big Boy would step out with some message." Many Twitter users were quick to pick up on the fact that the drumline used during the halftime show was comprised of mainly white faces, Complex reported. The move was particularly disrespectful given the Super Bowl is being hosted in Atlanta, a city with some of the best historically black colleges and universities in the country. Another angered user tweeted, "The NFL wanted to tout Atlanta's rich civil rights history, but couldn't have an HBCU dry line up there?" But perhaps the most famous person to weigh in on the topic so far is Donnie Wahlberg. The singer tweeted, "It's Black History Month. The Super Bowl is in Atlanta, home of multiple historic black colleges and HBCU marching bands. And the halftime show features a white headline act, a mostly white marching band, and a white man's nipples. WTF?" Check out one of our newest videos right here. Plus, even more Nicki Swift videos about your favorite stuff are coming soon. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell so you don't miss a single one.